Working on a 2014 Highlander two-wheel drive. This will be similar to the four-wheel drive. I'm doing the front brake pads and rotors, and then we're going to be doing the rear brake pads and rotors. That'll be on the separate video. Make sure you have your emergency brake on if you're on an incline or decline, and put some chocks, whatever, on the rear tire. Jack stand or jacking up points. If you're going to be doing the front, right here where the subframe bar is, there should be like a little point right there. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, right there, this little bar right there, that's its jacking up point. So we're gonna go ahead and jack it up. If not, you can jack it up from that subframe. You see where those little two holes right there where that plastic meets? So right there, kind of where there's like one 14mm bolt, and then right there, those two big holes, you can jack it up right there from the subframe. And then same thing on the other spot. You can put your jack stands right there. I'm not gonna put the jack stands. Pretty much tools that we're gonna be needing for the job is obviously the key for the wheel, a 21mm, 17mm, and a caliper press tool, and a 14mm, and that's pretty much it. These little spots right here, these rotors are pretty warped as it is. You can see a few of them right there. Alright, so I'm going to show you. We got our, there's going to be two 14mm, so one right up here and then one down below. That's two. And then you're going to have one 17mm right there on the bracket, and then one more right there. So we're gonna go ahead and take off that one too. So when taking these guys off, sometimes you need to grab some pliers and hold this nut right here, not the boot. You need to hold the nut inside. So that's sometimes if they get stuck or whatever, or if they're too loose. So we don't need to do that on this end. Now be careful that the caliper doesn't drop. If you have a little hanger right here, so that's where I'm setting this. Can't find my hangers right now. My kids were playing with them. Alright, so now if your rotor is stuck on there pretty hard, what you can do is tap right here on the housing. If you're going to resurface it, you'd get a hammer, tap on the outer edges until it breaks free. If you didn't care for the rotor and you're going to replace it like me, you would tap on the rotor itself and you'll be all said and done. Make sure you pay attention to the surface area for pretty much for out-of-state people. If it's too rusted right here, you need to get a sander and clean up this area, or like a wire brush and clean it all up so it's all clean, so you don't have an uneven surface wear. So we're going to go ahead and clean up the rotor. I sprayed a brake cleaner on my rag, and then we'll just go ahead and wipe all this grease that's on there. You're going to do it on the inside and outside. And then we'll just go ahead and sit this on there. There's no right or wrong way to put that. Alright, so for now, for our pads, we're going to go ahead and pop off this little spread wear. That'll keep the pads away from each other. Remember how these go? So these are going to be up on top. Yeah, so remember how these go? These are going to be up on top, so they're going to be facing like that. So we got to put that in the right position. And so we're going to go ahead and replace the hardware kit too. I would recommend to do that. If you didn't want to, then I mean, no biggie. But now you need to go ahead and pay attention to how these come off. So basically you see how this little indentation, see that right there. So I'd recommend to do one at a time. These guys just pop out just like that. And then we'll find one that's similar. You see how there's this one? We don't want it like that. We need that one on this side. So you see how right there. And then this would be the right one. So that's why I would recommend to do one at a time. So just in case if you get confused. So we're gonna go ahead and repeat that process for all of these. All right, so we gotta check our guide pins too. So as you can see, gotta push pretty hard on this, and then I gotta pull back. So these are stuck, and what happens over time is that the dealership doesn't put enough grease, and they don't retract to how it is, and it'll be stuck in one position. So same thing as this. So you see, it should actually be free floating like that. So what we need to do is we're gonna pull this boot back, and then just twist this guy right on out, just like that. Then we're gonna get our brake grease, and then we need to lubricate this. Just be pretty generous with it. And then we're gonna put that right back in here, and make sure that's clipped right back in. And then like that, just go ahead and spin it right around, go back and forth, and voila. And then you're gonna go ahead and repeat it for the bottom one too as well. So now we're gonna go ahead and compress the caliper. If you didn't have this tool, which you can use, you can go to AutoZone and rent out this part number. It's 27111, so 3 ones in total. So 27111, and it'll basically come as a single piston caliper. I believe they do have the butterfly. It's similar to this. You just gotta assemble it, and you should be able to rent that out. So if you're gonna be using the single one, what you need to do is you need to put your old brake pad right up in here, and then you're gonna spin it on one side. So you put the little butterfly right in there, and then you'll spin it right up close, and then it'll press up against this pad. So yeah, you're gonna go ahead and do that, or you can rent the tool that's similar to mine, and then basically you'll just hold the pad and voila, and it'll open up both. Side. So now our new hardware kit comes with this little pin, so we'll just go ahead and slide these off. If they didn't come with them, then you would have to go ahead and remove them from your other one and then put them on over here. They're not that hard to remove. And then make sure that they're fully seated in. Get that to focus. So yeah, make sure that they're fully seated in just like that. And then same thing, I like to start off from the front and then just work your way down. And they do clip in just like that. Then we're going to go ahead and lubricate that too as well. Lubricate these contact points. We'll do right here, right there too as well. Then a pretty good trick to putting this in, start off on the top first. So make sure that we get this guy in first. So we'll kind of start it off like this at an angle. We're gonna push against this pin. So push right in there first until you get both of those in. Push up, hold on, it slipped right out. And then we're gonna go ahead and go with the bottom. And just like that. Same thing for the other side. This one's going to be a little bit more tricky, just just because you're not staring at it, but we'll start off from the bottom, and then you can start off from the bottom too, and then you just push on the pin down, just like that. Whatever's easier. I mean, there's like a few ways, so I'll show you again on this side. So you can pull this right out. Start from the bottom, and then go right in here. Then once you get close, if you get too close, this thing will pop right back out. So we'll just push down right there, and it'll go down like that. Then on our brake pads, we need to go ahead and put these guys back in. So we'll go ahead and put this. So once you start putting these back in, you need to hold it with both hands. So there's these little holes right here. I don't know if you can see them. So you can see these little holes right there. We got to insert those inside those little holes. Just like that. And don't let go once you get them in. And then we're going to do the same thing for the bottom. And again, we're still going to hold this. And then we're going to bring over the caliper. Just like that. Once you get one in, the other one should go in pretty easy. And then you can go ahead and remove your hand. And then just like that. And then we can go ahead and tighten them. Now again, if this bolt is moving while you're trying to tighten it, again, you can grab it and hold it. So we're going to go ahead and put back on our tire. I'm going to go ahead and lift up with my toes, put them in, make sure it's centered and fully seated. And then we'll go ahead and thread each bolt by hand. And so when you tighten this down, make sure you go in pretty slow. We want to get the rim centered as possible. So we're just doing this by hand tightening with the impact gun, and then you're going to go up on the top, the opposite side, just to make sure it's fully seated. So now we are fully seated, and we're going to go ahead and tighten the bolt in the star pattern. So we'd basically be going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now you're going to go back in the vehicle. We're going to go ahead and start the car. And then in this time, we're going to go ahead and pump up the pedal. So you're going to pump it all the way down. And I think about like 3 or 4 times until it gets hard. Then you're going to be able to move the car. So make sure you get that all taken care of. And if this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and then hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future. And thanks for watching.